So good morning. We will start. Please open to the opening prayers. So if you happen to watch on Facebook, on the Urban Dharma page, and you're just learning about this program that we're doing for Saka Dawa, and if you would like to join us, there is a link that is provided in the initial announcement. The one where there is a poster of Buddha Shakyamuni. Now, even though the poster says to email info, a much more efficient way for you to register is to look for that link that is on the initial announcement for this program. That link will open up a registration form whereby you register, and then in theory, instantaneously, you will get a link back. And if you don't get the link back, that means it's somewhere in your mail reader, and your mail reader has decided that this is spam or this should go somewhere else, and you should do a search for it. And that automated email back has information on the Zoom credentials that you will need if you want to join us on Zoom. And then more importantly, it will have the texts that you will need to join in this program. That would be the most efficient way. If you send to info, sometimes we forget what we send and what we don't send because we have several volunteers involved and not necessarily everyone is on the same page. So some information you'll get, some information you won't get. So we are learning how to be more effective and more consistent and more quickly in responding to your questions and your requests. So please bear with us, be patient with us. We will try to do better. But again, if you see this program on Facebook and you are not aware of this going on and you would like to join, please look for on Facebook on the Urban Dharma North Carolina page. There should be information in the initial announcement of this program, which has a photo of Buddha Shakyamuni. In that posting, there is a link provided. So the format of these, this home retreat, just to repeat, because I think there might be some new people joining us, is that every morning, starting at 9, we will do a Shakyamuni Buddha practice. And we are actually using 2 different sadhanas that we will switch on each day. Then I encourage you to, if you can on your own, sometime during that day, to also do the other sadhana, the sadhana that we did not do as a group. If you can, that will be most wonderful. Then on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so today is a Monday, when we finish this program, then we are there's a group of us that have been doing ongoing studies of this one text called the Gongjik. Frankly, if you have not joined that group, if you join now, it might be a little bit confusing. But you are welcome to hang out and see what's going on. It will be on the same meeting. But If you are a little overwhelmed by it, then understand that this has been an ongoing class. So a lot of things that we are talking about, the people who have been with the class for the last couple of months are already quite familiar with it. Then on the other days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, then I will teach from this text called the Lalita Vistara. And the link for downloading the Lalita Vistara, which the title in English is The Play in Full, Lalita Vistara. That text, I will teach from that text. And that text is the biography of the Buddha, told from the Mahayana perspective, from the time that he was in Tushita, his last rebirth as a divine godly being, before he was born as the son of Shuddhodana and Queen Maya, and up to right after his awakening or enlightenment as the Buddha. So this is the other text that, for the purposes of the home retreat, I have recommended that you try to read this text and even read out loud. And so it's called sounding the text. To read out loud, to sound the text is basically to follow in the tradition of chanting a text. And chanting a text, in a way, is different from studying a text. Chanting the text, historically, traditionally, have been the basis for studying a text. Monks, nuns, and even lay people would have chanted a text for quite a while, so that the words and all that, is quite familiar because of having chanted it many times. And then at some point, teachings might be given on those texts. So this tradition of chanting is one that we can try to also continue. And so we read out loud. Yesterday I said that when you're reading this Lalita Vistara out loud, think of it as like storytelling. You might be storytelling for beings that are around you, that you can't see them, but they are there. So you do storytelling for them. And in that way, share in the gift of Dharma. So now we will begin with the opening prayers. Today, we will be doing, after the opening prayers, the Shakyamuni with 16 Arhat puja. That's what we'll be doing for today's group practice. Good, on Facebook. Thank you to Sandy. You have shared that link that I was talking about. I'm glad that some of you are quick to catch and to offer to others. This is how we practice, generosity, little things that we can do if we're mindful. So on page 1, refuge and generating bodhicitta in stages. So what we will do for this section is I will first read in English, then together we will chant in the Tibetan. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in a state of the most perfect and precious awakening. Thus, until I achieve awakening, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until awakening is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all migratory beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, the four continents, sun and moon, I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all migratory beings experience such a pure land. Now go back to page 1. We're going to start the chant in Tibetan. Dala Dawa Jebe Da Nobar Jebe Gek Tarba Dan Tam Je Gembe Bardu Chopra Jeba Tam Je Se Jebe Ma Nanga Dang Nyambe Senjen Tam Je Dewa Den Dung Yao Dang Re Ne Du La Na Me Pa Yang Da Bara Zobe Chanju Rinpo Je Dobra Je Dala Dawa Jebe Dra Nobar Jebe Ge Darba Da Tam Je Gembe Bardu Chobra Jeba Tam Je Giz Jebe Ma Nanga Dang Nyambe Zenjen Tam Je Tang Den Dung Yao Dang Re Ne Du La Na Me Pa Yang Da Bara Zobe Chanju Rinpo Je Dobra Je Dala Dawa Jebe Dra Nobar Jebe Ge Tarpa Dan Tam Je Gembe Bardu Chopra Jeba Tham Je Giz Jebe Ma Nanga Dang Nyambe Zenjen Tam Je Dan Den Dung Yao Dan Le Ne Du La Na Me Pa Yang Da Bara Zobe Chanju Rinpo Je Do Bar Je Du Samba Ge Ge Bardu Lung Sum Ge Wala Go Ma She Bardu Lung A Yi Sum Ge Wala Go Du De Ring Ne Sum De Ni Ma Zan Da Sam Ge Lung A Yi Sum Ge Wala Go Zongye Chodang Soge Chonam La Chanchu Bardu Dani Kyapsu Ji Jinsu Gepe Sonam Ke Drala Panchu Songye Drupra Zongye Chodang Soge Chonam La Chanchu Bardu Dani Kyapsu Ji Dange Jinsu Mingwe Chi Sanje Drupra Sanje Chodang Soge Chonam La Dagi Jinsu Gebe Sanang Ke Nralam Penja Sanje Drupra Sanje Chodang Soge Chonam La Chanchu Bardu Dani Kyapsu Chi Dagi Jinsu Gebe Sanang Ke Nralam Penja Sanje Drupra Nangka Dang Yampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dang Dewen Gendan Dembra Gyuji Dungyao Dang Dungyao Gigil Dungyao Mepe Dewa Dang Me Dewa Gyuji Nering Chandan Nidang Dewa Tang Yang La Nebra Gyuji Nangka Dang Yampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dang Dewen Gendan Dembra Gyuji Dungyao Dang Dungyao Gigil Dang Dewa Gyuji Mebe Dewa Dang Me Dewa Gyuji Niding Chandan Nidang Dewa Tang Yang La Nebra Gyuji Nangka Dang Yampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dang Dewen Gendan Dembra Gyuji Dungyao Dang Dungyao Gigil Dang Dewa Gyuji Mepe Dewa Dang Me Dewa Gyuji Niding Chandan Nidang Dewa Tang Yang La Nebra Gyuji Zaji Boje Jeje Medo Ra Rila Lenje Nende Gembadi Sing la me te po wa ye joko nam da jin du jo bra jo guru deva da gi ni ran na men da la pra de ja so. So now a brief practice of paying homage and making offerings. The 16 elders. These elders are the teras, or in Sanskrit, the staviras, in Pali, the teras. And these teras, or these elders, are referring to the 16 senior disciples of Buddha Shakyamuni, who at the point where Buddha Shakyamuni was manifesting complete and final nirvana, these 16 arhats, they were still alive. Buddha's chief disciples, such as Shariputra, Maugayayana, they had already passed on before the Buddha himself. So then this group of 16 arhats came to the Buddha and made a pledge to the Buddha and said that they will continue to remain in the world in order to protect and to support the continuous flourish of the Buddha Dharma. So in this practice, we are also told, it's said in here, referring to them, saying that in fact, they themselves are Buddhas. And so they are Buddhas who have become beings who have become Buddhas in other universes at other times. But one of the vows probably that they made then is to manifest in the form of arhats, to be part of the retinue of another Buddha in order to create the interdependence, to protect and to sustain the Dharma. So in that way, we can see that from the Mahayana perspective, there could be beings in the retinue of Buddha Shakyamuni who outwardly look like a monk, a nun, outwardly look like an arhat, outwardly look like a bodhisattva, when in fact they are emanations of full Buddhas. They are nirmanakayas of Buddhas. They are sambhogakayas of other Buddhas manifesting in order to assist, you could say. But maybe assist is too much of too anthropomorphic in that sense, but more that they are activities of other Buddhas manifesting in the lands of other Buddhas in order to create the interdependence for the flourish of the Dharma. So these 16 arhats, it is said, if we remember them, venerate them, pay homage to them, then we will join in the causes and conditions, the interdependence, the dendra in the flourish of the Buddha Dharma as taught by Buddha Shakyamuni. It will also ensure that practitioners will keep the purity of these teachings in their own hearts and in their own practice of these teachings. So now, so this particular liturgy, as we have it in this form, was arranged by, put together by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo was one of the major figures in the late 19th, early 20th century movement in Tibet known as the Rime, or the non-sectarian movement. And so Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo himself was a great Lama of the Sakyapa lineage. So then here in this arrangement of this Buddha Shakyamuni and 16 Arhat Puja, he says that this is basically a text that was composed by the Indian master Shakyashri. So Shakyashri Bhadra, I think, came to Tibet in the 12th century. So for Dragong Kagyu people, I think it's you might find it interesting to know that Shakya Sri Bhadra, when he was in India, before he went to Tibet, he met some Arhats that went to India on pilgrimage to Bodh Gaya. And then there was one Arhat that gave a couple of very special lotus flowers to Shakya Sri Bhadra, if I remember correctly, and said to him, when you get to Tibet, because he knows that Shakya Sri Bhadra was going to Tibet, it says, please offer these flowers to the emanation, to the incarnation of the great Nagarjuna. So he said, oh, like Nagarjuna has manifested in Tibet. Then this Arhat says, yes, so please. So long story short, basically, Nagarjuna in Tibet at that time was Kyopa Jigten Sungpat. So the flowers were offered to Kyopa Jigten Sungpat. So anyway, this great Pandita Shakya Sri went to Tibet. And so then he, primarily this text was, he composed it. Then Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo probably kind of arranged it a little and edited it a little. And so then we have the text that we have today. So turn to page 2. We're going to start from there. So first, we are going to read in English for page 2. If I can get Claudia, can you read in English the contents on page 2, starting with "By the Truth of the Buddha," all the way to the bottom.
By the truth of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the objects of refuge, the blessings of all the victorious ones under Bodhisattva hairs, the power of the two accumulations, and the purity and strength of the Dharmadhatu. May the outer environment and its inhabitants become those of the blissful paradise of Sukhavati, with, in its center, a great celestial palace of precious gems, stunning to behold, inside which is a jeweled lion throne with lotus and moon disk seats. Here and now, may I experience this pure realm filled with clouds of actual offerings, and those created through the power of mantras, awareness, and aspiration.
Gyamne gunju zungi denpa dang gyawa seje nam gi jin lab dan suni nga tang ju ying da tong gi nu ju de jin shing gi gu be wu yi zhu nor bu xiao me kang jen bu Rin Jen Sen Jen Pe De Den Cho Da Ngo Sham Zung Re Mo Tum Gi Dru Be Cho Dring Gya Tsui Gang Shin Cho Gi Je Namo Rana Traya Ya Namo Bhaga Bhadra Sara Paramadhane Tathagataya Arahate Samnya Sambuddhaya Dhyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Mahabhadre Tejo Bhadre Mahabhidya Bhadre Mahabodhi Chitta Bhadre Mahabodhi Manto Padam Kramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avarana Dana Bhadre Soha Namo Rana Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Bhadra Sara Paramadane Tathagataya Arahate Samnya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Maha Bhadre Maha Tejo Bhadre Maha Vidya Bhadre Maha Bodhi Chitta Bhadre Bodhi mando pasangramana bhajre sarva karma avarana vishodhana bhajre soha namo rana trayaya namo bhagavate vajrasar Dane tata gataya arahade samnya sambuddhaya te yada om bhajre bhajre maha tejo bhajre maha vidya bhajre Bodhi Chitta Bhajre Maha Bodhi Pasangramana Bhajre Sarva Karma Varana Vishodhana Bhajre maybe Larry, are you able to read?
Yes.
If you are able to read, can you please
Yeah.
read page 4?
Page 4.
Yes.
All the victorious ones?
No. Page 4 begins with, the ground is smooth like the palm
Oh,
of the hand.
okay. The ground is smooth like the palm of the hand and bedecked with jewels. It is adorned with wish-granting trees, rivers, and lakes. In its center, in the jeweled palace with its 4 sides and 4 doors, upon seats of lotus, sun, and moon, is the compassionate protector of beings, the one who sets. The beings of these troubled times on the path to liberation, the supreme Shakyamuni, together with the great Sthvaviras. Come now to this place, together with your retinues, we pray. Continue.
Yes,
Continue.
yes, the whole of page 4.
Okay. All the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their heirs, the wisdom fire that dries the ocean of destructive emotions, and those who abide by the Buddha's words in the field of merit of complete liberation. The Shravaka Sangha of the 10 directions, all of you, please come to this place. With these offerings, we invite you to stay here. For sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. The protector of wandering beings, the lion of the Shakyas, Buddha teachings that you hold in your hands. Those who open up the treasury of excellent discourses. Guardians of the Dharma, great Arhats, please stay here, we pray.
Okay, I will continue because the next section, a lot of very long Sanskrit names. Thank you, Larry. As we invite you to spread the holy Dharma for sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. You who were instructed by the Buddha to uphold the victory banner of the teachings, Angaja, Ajita, and Vanavasin, Kalika, Vajriputra, and Sribhadra, Kanaka Vatsa, and sublime Kanaka Bharadwaja, noble Bakula and Rahula, Kushla Pantaka, and Pindola Bharadwaja, Pantaka, Nagasena, Gopaka, and Abedya, all Arhats, great elders, through this invitation to this precious place of merit for sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. May, can you read page 6?
You are Buddhas with perfect renunciation and wisdom, yet to guide beings you appear in Shravaka form. You whose special activity is to protect the Dharma, 16 elders, come now and take your places, Vatas, and having forsaken selfish aims, you remain in the forest of samsara and dedicate yourselves to others, O 16 elders, through the force of compassion and commitment. Come now to this place. As lay practitioners who seek refuge and whose speech is honest, accept us, we pray, as servants of the three jewels, as we invite you to this precious, meritorious realm. For sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place.
So now to page 3. La tirtanya brinjingi treba junshin juzu genpe shashi urinjin le zhu shi gu shi pa pema di de genpe den den de tu je su pe du ki du janam Nam ro lam la gu zi dro we gun tu ba jo dan ne ten chen pu nam ko dan che pa ne de she su so jo ju gya wa se che che dan she ra me bar nyo mun so kim shin nam dro so nam shin du ka du pe 这知念的根的树所在，用着这本是真人啊，周围同知这给是树，周围公布沙克生给耶。上界等八刚给角度下，送让人间如给卡杰贝。 Chu kyung ra chung chen pui shuk so sa Dam chu pel we le du chen den na Dro we dun chi chu ki shi su so Chu pe ka gu ten pe kiao sen zin Yen la jun dang ma pam na na ne Du den dur je mo gu zang po dan ser biu bara dwaja ser chen chu pa ba ba gu la dang tra chen zin lam tren bara dwaja so nyom len lam ten lu de be je mi che pa ta chum ne ten chen pui de dang ni so nam rin chen ling du chen ring yi zhou wei dun chi chu ki shi su so tang dang ye she bun so sang jie gian du jie wang gi nian tu su zin pa gie pa jing yi zhen le zhu gyong wei 你天主的的真心老师的是卡隆所在的巴松，让顿顿年过为那小度，先顿路在那天主dru波。tam che tu je wang ki ne der she so den pe si den pa kon cho sum yi shab jing ji so se so nam ren chen xin du chen ren yi ro wei don ji cho ki she su see. Melissa, can you please read page 7 to the top section of page 8?
To all the Buddhas, the lions of the human race, in all directions of the universe, through past and present and future, to every single one of you, I bow in homage. Devotion fills my body, speech, and mind. Through the power of this prayer, aspiring to good action, all the victorious ones appear, vivid here before my mind, and I multiply my body as many times as atoms in the universe, each one bowing in prostration to all the Buddhas. And praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss, and around them all their bodhisattva heirs. And so I imagine them filling completely the entire space of reality, saluting them with an endless ocean of praise. With the sounds of an ocean of different melodies, I sing of the Buddha's noble qualities, and praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss.
Thank you. Back to page 7. Jini suda ju ju ji de na du sun she pa mi yi sen ge gun da gi ma lu de da tam je la lu dang a yi dang we cha gi wo zang bu ju be mon lam tom da gi Gyawa tam che yi ki ngun sum du shin du du yin ru ab du pa ye Gyawa kun la rab du cha se lo du ji ten na du nye sang ye na sang ye se ki una shu pa da de da ju ki yin na ma lu par Tam je gyawa da gi gawa mo de da nga pa min ze gya zu nam yang gi yen la gya zu tra gun ji gyawa gun ji yon de ra zu ji de wa she pa tam je da gi to. I will first read in English. We pay homage to the incomparable one, whom we never tire of gazing upon, whose beautiful form is the color of gold, with one face, 2 hands, and is seated in cross-legged posture, while making the gestures of touching the earth and resting in equanimity. Grant your blessings so that the life of the teacher may be secure and the teachings may flourish and spread. So this first verse of homage is homage to Buddha Shakyamuni. So this gesture of him using the tip of his fingers touching the earth is called the calling upon the earth to bear witness. Calling upon the earth to bear witness. So this relates to a particular instance in the life of the Buddha, and specifically to the evening before he achieved the state of complete Buddha. It is said that at that point, all the demonic forces of Mara gathered together to try to derail him. So they came at first in forms of temptations and worldly pleasures to try to derail him, and they failed. Then they came, in the form of fear. So first it was like desire, attachment. Then it was aversion, inciting fear, inciting anger, and they tried to derail him that way. And it said that they also failed. Then finally they came in the form of ignorance or confusion. Yeah? And they tried to sow seeds of doubt, confusion, and so on. And at that point, it is said that one of the things that Mara said to him is, like, what are you doing here? You think you're going to have some kind of spiritual breakthrough? What have you done? You have only been a prince. Granted that you were a very popular prince, then now, only for 6 years you've been wandering in the forest. Even teachers, you didn't study that much. What do you think, you're going to do here? Why are you wasting your time here? Why don't you go back, Your father needs you. Your kingdom needs you. Why don't you go back and be a good king? When the time comes, you can take care of so many of your citizens. Isn't that much better? Isn't that greater merit if you go back and be a good king and benefit your citizens? It was at that point that Buddha Siddhartha said, "You're mistaken, You're not going to confuse me in this way. Both you and I know," he said to Mara, "that this is not just this lifetime. From lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, I have worked on purifying my afflictive emotions. I have worked on accumulating great merit. I have no need for more merit," he says. Then Mara laughed, and said, "How arrogant, you can say this." And at that point, he said, "Then I shall call upon the earth to be a witness to my lifetime and lifetime and lifetime and lifetimes of having accumulated great merit." So it said that then at that point, he touched the earth. And as he touched the earth, it says that the goddess of the earth, Prithvi Devi, appeared and said, "Indeed, you have no need for more merit, because you have perfected the complete accumulation of merit. And now is the time for you to fully manifest your wisdom." At that point, Siddhartha achieved Buddha. So that's the meaning of the touching the earth. Earth as the witness, bearing witness to the eons and eons and eons of Buddha Shakyamuni having cultivated through many lifetimes the 6 perfections. So this is what is being referenced here. Resting in equanimity. Equanimity means the other hand, like this in the posture of meditation. Resting in meditation. Meditative equipoise is the meaning here. Then following this are the 16 Arhats, verses of homage to the 16 Arhats. So for each of them, they are described, their names are given. The name is given. Where they is said to reside, that is given. Who are they? Who is in their retinue? How many other disciples? That is given. And also what they hold in their hands. That's also given. And then at the end of each, it says, "Grant your blessings so that the life of the teachers may be secure and the teachings may flourish and spread." So each verse of homage to each of the 16 Arhats will contain the last 2 lines of refrain. And so that's what's then we will now do this chant, this section in Tibetan. Yeah? So starting on page 8. Sung me da ve mi gom shin sergi do jen se pe gu she chi jia ni kyu chong shu sa no nyam sha se cha se la me gu tse tem pa dan tem pa ge per jin ji lo
Gang ri chen pu di se la pa pa ne ten yen la jung. Ra chung tong dang sum ye kor po por nga yam zi cha se. La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Tram bu ling gi zang ling na pak pa ne ten du den ni. Ra chum tong dang chi ge kor ser gi na kor zin cha tse. La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Singala yi ling na ni ne ten dur je mo yi bu. Tra chun chen po tong gi kur dik su nga yam zin cha se. La me ku tse ten pa da ten pa ge par jin ji lo. Chu wo ya mun la ling na pa pa ne ten zang po ni. Ra chom tong dang ni ge kur chu che nyam sha ze cha se. Ame ku tse tem pa da tem pa ge bar jin ji lo. Ne cho ka je yu na ni pa pa ne ten tser be u. Ra chon chen po nga ge ko rin chen sha pa zin cha se. La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Num ki pa lang chu na ni para tua za ser chen la. Cha chun chen po dun ye kur chiao ni nyam sha ze cha se. La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Changi dra mi nien na ni pa pe ne tem ba ku la. Dra chun chen po gu ge kur cha ni niu le zin cha tse. La me ku tse tem pa da tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Triyang ku yi ling na ni pak pe ne ten dra jin zing. Dra chum tong dan chi ge ko rin chen suk shu zin cha se. La me ku tse ten pa dan ten pa ge par jin ji lo. Cha go pung po ri wo la pa pe ne ten lam tren te. Dra chom tong dang du ge kur chia ni nyam sha ze cha se. La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo. Shar gi lo pa ling na ni bara dwa za so nyam le. Tra chom tong ra ji gi kor le bam lung zen zin cha se. La me ku tse tem pa da tem pa ge par jin ji lo. La ne sum chu sa sum na pa pe ne ten lam ten ni. Ra chom chen po gu ge kur cho che le bam zin cha se. Lame kutse tempa dan tempa ge barji jilom ri gyao bongo yang la pa be ne ten lu yi de Trajom tong dang ni ge kor bumba kar zil zin cha sel La me ku se ten pa dan ten pa ge par jin ji lo Ri yi gyao po bi hu lar pa pe ne ten be che ni Tra chom tong dan shi ge kur jiang ni le bam zin cha se La me ku tse tem pa da tem pa ge per jin ji lo Ri yi gyao po gang chen la pak pe ne ten mi che pa Cha chom tong cha chi gi kur chang chu chu ten zin cha se La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo Pa be gen yen dar ma ta reo pa tu jin le bam kyur Nang ta dung gi ka la zi nga ya pum pa zin cha se La me ku tse tem pa da tem pa gyer pa jin ji lo Chon pe go go tu top den sang ye tem pa lek sung wa Shalo nu chang chu shi gyao jian shi la chak se lo La me ku se tem pa da tem pa gyer pa jin ji lo. This last verse is paying homage to the four great kings. These are the four kings that is said to guard the four directions of the world, right, in the east, south, west, and north. They are kings of this realm of heaven called the realm of the four kings. And so this is the realm of the four kings, and they have pledged to protect the world and particularly to protect the Buddha's teachings. And so they are often painted, on the outside of the assembly hall of a monastery. So now we go on to the next part, which is having paid homage, in this case, to Buddha Shakyamuni and the 16 Arhats and their retinue of thousands and thousands and thousands of Arhats. Now we make offerings to them. So let's see. So from bottom of page 16 to all of page 17. So maybe Yasmin, can you read that section from the bottom of page 16 to page 17? You might want to unmute when you're ready.
Yeah. To every Buddha I make offerings of the loveliest flowers, of beautiful garlands, of music and perfume, ointments, the best of parasols. To every Buddha I make offerings, exquisite garments and the most fragrant scents, powder, incense, heaped as high as Mount Meru, arranged in perfect symmetry. Then the vast and unsurpassable offerings, inspired by my devotion to all the Buddhas and moved by the power of my faith in good actions, I prostrate and offer to all you victorious ones.
Thank you. Back to page 16. me tu dhampa chenwa dhampa da zunye nam dan ju pa du jo dam har me chu dan du bo dhampa ye gyawa de da la ni jo par gi nasa dhampa nam dan tri jo dan chema burma re ra nyam pa dan ko pa ke par pa pe chu kun gi Gyawa de da la ni cho pargi cho pa gang na la me gya che wa de da gyawa tham che la ya mo zambo cho la de pe tom da gi gyawa kun la cha se cho par ji namo rana traya ya namo bhagavate bhajasara parmada Tathāgataya arahate samya sambuddhaya te atao Bhadre Bhadre Mahabhadre Mahatejo Bhadre Mahadija Bhadre Mahabodhicitta Mahabodhi Mando Pasankramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avaran Vishodhana Bhadre Soha
So the second one, the making of offerings. So when it comes to offerings, it will say, those offerings that are actually arranged, so the physical offerings, and those offerings that are imagined or visualized. So one general way to kind of divide the types of offerings we can make is to look at it from the perspective of the offerings that we can lay out, so the physical offerings, and then the offerings that we imagine, the offerings that we visualize. In terms of the offerings that we can lay out, we can prepare, don't relate to the practice of making offerings as something secondary, as something that is just, for show's sake, for just kind of like, just in case, but relate to them as this is the act of devotion. When we talk about devotion, so many people say, I don't know what devotion is. It begins with, taking care in preparing the offerings, taking care in selecting the flowers, right? Selecting the fruits, selecting the different offerings, taking care in preparing the water. If you add some saffron into the water, taking care in choosing the incense, taking care in choosing the offering bowls that you use. Think of it as, something that you would do for someone whom you care about, someone who matters to you, what they think of you. In that sense, like really putting our hearts and our minds to making those offerings. Then in terms of those offerings, we have to make sure that they are clean, unblemished, to whatever degree that we can. So this point about to whatever degree that we can is important, because in the end, in a way, it's you yourself that needs to be convinced. So if you are half-hearted in making the offerings, then the effects of making those offerings is not perfect. But if you are, fully invested in, so to say, in the preparation of making the physical offerings, then the effect of that is also full. Sometimes we think, oh, Milarepa didn't use these things, but Yeah, Milarepa also, didn't have a 42-inch TV that he offered himself. Milarepa also did not have, fancy meals that he offered himself. Milarepa also didn't have, a designer couch that he offered himself. Milarepa didn't, drive around a vehicle that is, even $20,000 or $70,000. Milarepa did not have a lot of things. Given his circumstance, he offered what he could, and he offered it perfectly. Given our circumstance, what are we offering? And what do we think would result in that offering? That we have to think a little bit, So here, in terms of making offerings, not just the offerings that we prepare on the shrine, we offer to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in many, many different ways. Service, for example, to our gurus, service to the temple, service to the Sangha, all those are offerings. Finding ways to support the flourish of Dharma, that's offering to Dharma. So there are many, many ways, in which we make offerings. So all those offerings, physically done, and then importantly, mentally visualize. And that mentally visualize is a special method, as I said, that we can continue to offer. And so what that means is, in another context, they talk about outer, inner, and secret offering. So the inner offering is the offering of sense experiences. So all our sense experiences, that which we taste, touch, smell. So all our sensory experiences, we can offer them to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That's a very special way to not let our sense experiences that are unpleasant, we get carried away in trying to get rid of them. Sense experiences that are pleasant, we get carried away chasing after them, right? Sense experiences that are negative, we get carried away, we get dragged around because we want to, push them away. Sense experiences that are positive, pleasurable, we get carried away because we chase after them. So especially in Vajrayana, there are methods to purify both of these. With regards to sense experiences that are negative, if you follow in the Lojong tradition, it says, okay, all of this serves as a means to purify my afflictive emotions, the negative sense experiences. Then the positive sense experiences here, we experience them and offer them. That means we do not become fixated on them. Then Kyoba Jiten Sungwen says, there's also a very special method of accumulating merit, whereby you mentally take possession of all things. So, driving around, walking around, everything that you see in your neighborhood, on your way to work, you mentally gather up, as he says, and own them and possess them. Now, at the, when you first hear about this, you're like, wait, that seems, isn't that like grasping? Actually, he says, this is the special method of using grasping to purify your afflictive emotions. So he says, you mentally think, all of this is mine. And then he says, then once you feel that sense of this is mine, you're like, okay, now I offer them to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Now I offer them to the beings who need this. So this method, it really points to, I think, how one way or the other, we are already grasping at all these things around us. Even if we don't think we are, in some version, right, we are already involving them with afflictive emotions.
Like, don't care. Like, don't like, don't care. Like, don't care. Oh, beautiful. Ooh, like. Oh, ugly. Ooh, that person has no sense of taste, you know. All this stuff is going on, you know. Don't care, you know. Who cares, you know? So we go about every day relating to all our sense experiences like that, you know, like, don't care. Like, don't care. So Gilbert Rinpoche says, you know, now what you should do is, especially all those things that you like and you see, you know, that is out there, you say, you know, this is all mine. And it is true in that sense that it is all yours. What is it that is yours? The experience of it is yours. So take ownership, so to say, recognize that these experiences that I like, it's mine. So I'll take them. So you, especially if you go sightseeing, you know, you go to the Biltmore estate, you know, what, 250 rooms, all of that. You're like, mine, you know, you take. Then you offer. You offer. It says, out of admiration, do offer to all those beings with supreme qualities. May I also achieve those qualities. Then you give as charity to all those beings that are in need of help, and say, may they too experience, gain these experiences and be satisfied. So this is the special method of making offerings. So now next is the confession, rejoicing, imploring the Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma, requesting the Buddhas not to enter nirvana. Yeah. So this page 18. So let's see, on page 18, Maria Carmen, can you please read page 18, starting with whatever negative acts.
Confession. Whatever negative acts I have committed while driven by desire, hatred, and ignorance, with my body, my speech, and also with my mind, before you I confess and purify each and every one. Rejoicing. With a heart full of delight, I rejoice at all the merits of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, and the Arhats beyond training, and every living being throughout the entire universe. Do I go on? Do I go on?
Actually, thank you. Then Leonard, if you are there, can you please read page 19 and to the top of 20?
19, dedication.
No, page 19 at the top. You who are like beacons of light.
Imploring the Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma. You who are like beacons of light shining through the worlds, who pass through the stages of enlightenment to attain Buddhahood. Freedom from all attachment, I exhort you. All of you protectors, turn the unsurpassable wheel of Dharma. Requesting the Buddhas not to enter nirvana. Joining my palms together, I pray. To you who intend to pass into nirvana, remain for aeons as many as the atoms in this world, and bring well-being and happiness to all living beings. Dedication. What little virtue I have gathered through my homage, through offering, confession, and rejoicing, through exhortation and prayer, all of it I dedicate to the enlightenment of all beings. If you wish to make the Dharani recitation more elaborate, then add the following.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
That's good. So page 18. Do ja she dan ti mo wang gi ni lu dang a dan de shi ni gi gyan de ba da gi ba ji ji ba de da tam je da gi so so ra sha ju ju gya wa kun dan sang ge se rang gya nam dan lo dan mi lo dan ro wa kun ji so nam gang la ya Deda kunji jese dayiran kanan ju jiten romana Changchu rinpa sangye ma cha ne gombo deda dagi tamje la Korlo lana me pa korwa gu nyangen da tong gang she deda la Rowa kun la penshin de wejir gyao pa shingi du ne su pa ya Dagi tel mo ramja so war ye cha zel wa dang ju jing sha pa dang Jise yi rang ku shing so wa ye ge wa chung se dagi ji sak pa tam che dagi chang ju jir ngo Calling upon the Lord of Sages and his retinue by name, I invoke your wisdom mind. Teyada Om Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha 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 Dayada 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 Om Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha Teyada 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 Teyada Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha Teyada Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha Teyada Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha Teyada Teyada Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha 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 Teyada Mani Mani They the money money mom is on there, 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 the money money mom is on there. The money money mom is on there, 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 the money money mom is. There the money money mom is on there, 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 money money. There the money money mahamanaya so. Assembly of noble Arhats, emanations of the Buddhas, who guard the teachings for the sake of beings, 16 elders, true embodiments of the three jewels, grant your blessings so that the teachings may long endure. Through the power of the source of virtue, may the teachings, source of all benefit and happiness, spread. May all sources of suffering be entirely eradicated, and the ocean of existence swiftly dry up. May we fully perfect oceans of merit. May we purify oceans of wisdom. May we perfect all ocean-like aspirations and surpass all ordinary embodied beings. The one who has perfected the two accumulations and carries out the activity of the Buddhas of the three times, who is inseparable from them in qualities and brings fortunate disciples to maturity, may there be the auspiciousness of the Guru, who is without equal. With the compassion of the victorious Buddhas of the three times and their heirs, they adopt the form of Shravakas for as long as existence continues, to protect the teachings and bring benefit to beings. May there be the auspiciousness of the great elders. To those whose vision is profound and extensive, Dhritarashtra, Virudaka, Virupaksha, and Vaishravana, may there be the auspiciousness of the four great kings. The one true source of benefit and happiness, may the teachings long endure. And may the lives of the great and noble beings who uphold the teachings remain secure like banners of victory. Through the coming of the teacher into this world, the illuminating sunlight of his teachings, and harmony among the community of disciples who uphold the teachings, may there be the auspiciousness of the teachings remaining long into the future. So now page 21. Zanje drupa da jumpa bezo jowe dundu tenpa gyun sepa kunju sumo de tenju jugi tenpa yurin nepa jinji lo dagi gewe cawa di yitu Penden jung ne tenpa beo gyu ji dung yao kun jung ma lu ra pang ne si pe gya su nir du ken par shu so nam gya su yung su so gyu chi ye she gya su nam par da gyu ji mon lam gya su ma lu kun so ne Lu chen kun le ke bar pa bar sho zo ni tar jin du sum gya wa ye chen le du jin yun ten na me ye gao pa nyam pe du ja min ze pe nyam me la ma chu gi cha shi sho du sum gya wa gya se tu je ye Nian tu su sung si pa ji si pa ten kyung shing ru we dong ze pa ne ten chen pa nam ki ta shi so sa ching ya che sing pa po yu koro sun dang pa ke po che mi sang dang nam tu se gyao chen shi yi ta shi so pen de chung ye ne jing po Tenpa yurin ne badan tenzin ke budamba na kutse gyao zen ten gyurji dompa ji ten kamsu jompa da tenpe ni de otsin du sel wadan tenzin bula genden tenpa yi tenpa yurin ne beda ji
So we have completed the 16 Arhats and Buddha Shakyamuni Puja for this morning. So we'll take a very quick break. And for those of you who are continuing on to the Gongjik teachings, we will continue on. And then the rest of you, please have a good day. And if you can, do the other Buddha Shakyamuni sadhana with the Anapanasati meditation. And then read also the Lalita Vistara. And tomorrow we will do the Buddha Shakyamuni sadhana that His Holiness the Dribung Kyabgun composed or compiled. And then we will have teachings from the Lalita Vistara for tomorrow. And so if you are looking for the Lalita Vistara teachings, they will be given on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, so now we take a quick break.